Hey yo, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Games for Days, and as you can tell by the title, this is the finale of Cosmic. But today we're going to be doing a little base tour as the end. We're going to be going through what I've been doing in streams and just over the past however long. But right now I'm holding the Ravencraft sword that Raven has made for me, and now there's a creeper in the nether. But watch this. Instant death, everything. Mainly because it's a 10,000, like, everything. But we're going to be doing a little base tour, and hopefully this doesn't, like, ruin anything. Maybe he can, like, restore it if I go through the wrong part. Oh, good. I did technically kill it. So let's go to the base and see what the finished product would have looked like if Cosmic would have kept going. The first and only thing I want to do is tell you the story of the server. So I started out watching Harry's videos, and I know we're just looking into the nether aimlessly, into the abyss, but I started out watching Harry, or O-Focus as some of you know him, and that's what drew me in. I was like, these are people around my sub count, around my viewership. I'm gonna try to get into this server. So I DM'd the account, and after about 2 weeks of watching and wanting, I got to join. And when you come to my base in the world download, once it's available, you'll see my nether portal, and it's been taken over by the monster that eliminated the entire village that was my base. My base story was an ancient civilization used to live where I'm currently living, and it was wiped out by an alien force, something from outer space that we don't fully understand, and we don't know where they went. They were either abducted or killed. We just know they aren't there anymore. But when you come through the portal, you'll come up my staircase and see the bookshelf. What we're going to call it is the infection. That's the best thing I can call it. But the infection spread, and this was basically just a way for me to decorate my enchantment setup. I got the basic square that you need, and then I just kind of went far out with it and started to have a bit of fun, and that became the focal point of the story. But the way the server started is I came over here on these boats and found this area. I loved the look of this area. I didn't really terraform anything. I just slapped a house right there and built. And it was eventually replaced by that, I think, 32 furnace system, which really allowed for easy smelting when the time came. So I then got to making my AFK fish farm right over here, my storage system right here, and the shulker box monster that occurred right there. I did flatten this area out because that was where things were, and I just flattened it out and never really got rid of this. I planned to do it in one of the episodes. I just couldn't get rid of it. It was just there. But the mining hole went down this way, and we just basically made a beacon mine and mined out over there. The next thing that came was that house up there. So this house was the first one that made, and it made the entire like design basis for the rest of the build. It was a good build in my eyes, but the block palette wasn't all that great. I believe it was originally oak planks and spruce log, and it just wasn't a good looking build in the slightest. So we eventually updated it and put a second one over here to match it. Now I did have a third one made in one of the episodes. I don't know if that episode ever actually went up, and if it did, oof. But that got removed whenever we went from actually being on Cosmic to being on the Ravencraft server, which is generously being provided by Dr. Ravenholm. Check his Discord channel link and Twitch link all down in the description, top bar. But the next thing that was made after this and the little pathways was the path up to the Church of Dash. Dash was the server owner, and I wanted to make the entire server have different churches dotted around just for Dash, because this civilization that I was building believed her to be their deity. They believed her to be the driving force of their creation, their existence, and the entire thing. So, this was the church, and it was a pretty good design for the most part. It was just a little tiny thing that some ancient civilization would have, and I made the story right here. Pause it on every page if you want to read it. It was just a story of how Dash became a deity, or how she came from a deity to a mortal like she was on the server. And there's a ton of Dash heads here if you're in survival and you want to pick them up. But the next thing that came, I believe, was the herbologist's house, so let's go see that. So the herbologist's house is right here. The base is that beacon beam right there. But this block palette wasn't the best choice, but I didn't have the heart to change it because I thought the herbologist was going to be somebody different, somebody that the town would have recognized straight out of the gate. They didn't blend in, they didn't do anything, they stood out. But this was their house. They studied flowers, plants, and grew the crops for the entire village because of their love for plants. They didn't just do this for the fun or for the payment or anything. They did it because they wanted to. And I also include over here my girlfriend Natalie's daisy field. This entire daisy field was picked by her. I asked her to pick a flower, and she told me oxeye daisies, and that I went and gathered. You can't bone meal these to grow any, so I actually had to go hand pick all of these. Before, on one of the other servers, she had set a sunflower, and I was just able to bone meal that up. The daisy is much more, like, important because you can't just make it. You have to go find it. You have to search this out. And I went around for maybe 5 days gathering all of these, so it was something that she enjoyed and I enjoyed doing for her. Everything after this is new from the series, so you won't recognize any of these builds. These were all done on stream, and I just hope you enjoy what they look like. Next came the Longhouse on stream. This was made about 2 weeks ago. It includes an area for you to make your arrows and bows, for the villagers anyway, not for us, because this doesn't really have any function. A grindstone and a smithing table along with a campfire to keep warm. A sitting area for people to sit, tell stories, drink ale, and that kind of thing. And then you come in here and any visitors can sleep. It's not the most glamorous of interiors, but it was the best I could do given my building skills. Going around in the circle, next came the clock tower. I made this last night on stream, actually. I finished this base up last night, and I'm recording this now. But the clock tower just basically always reads 12, because I believe that the infection or the aliens have this in a constant stasis in a constant state of stasis. They want to keep this preserved to see what these people have done and study them to see if they can learn anything from them. So it's in a constant stasis of 12 o'clock noon, even though time as of a day still moves around. It still rains and everything. Stationary time is frozen. Next came the Fountain of Dash. They really believed in their deity, they really loved their deity, so they made a fountain dedicated to it, and it's not just a fountain, it is a conduit basis for us, but I'm considering that to be the heart of Dash, it's one of their artifacts. They want to keep that safe, but also keep it on display, so they put it in the fountain. Something that Raven added was the Poop-O-Matic, and it said activate for the blessings of Dash, and you activate it a couple times and it puts out brown dye that looks like caca, and it says don't swim in the toilet water, which is a funny joke by him, but that was added afterwards by travelers in the lore series. They didn't really believe in Dash, they were slanderers, really, so that's what was going on there. Going back around the fountain over up this small path right here, we physically have to jump up. I couldn't put slabs in, it would have messed with the architecture. But coming up here, here is the marketplace, the place where they would buy their goods, sell goods. The food shop with a chest for the stock, armor and weapons, and then up here we have general goods and Natalie's Daisy shop. They're free, take as many as you want. So you come over here and sure enough, these are all filled to the brim with oxeye daisies that I didn't gather myself. I put them there in creative, but there's something that really goes with the lore. So going back down and around, we're going to go to the other living area. There wasn't just 2 or 3 residents living in the 2 houses over there. There were a bit more people living in this area. And those people lived right over here, in these houses right here. There's about 4, I reckon. So there's 6 in total of these little houses. And the interiors are all empty, so if you come onto the server, you can do whatever you want with them. You can change the buildings as well. I give you full permission to change anything about this base that you want. Add more lore, take away lore, or completely demolish this base in its entirety. But all the pathways, I've made sure that all the blocks are light level 7 and above through the F3 screen and torch/lantern placement. Going this way now, we come to the pier/dock area where rafts and ships would have come in to dock and sell their goods. If we swim out just a little bit, you can actually see I made a raft that is just leaving after dropping off its goods, receiving payment. But even then, the ship goer, the raft rower, is gone. The aliens took him as well, the infection spread, and even that person wasn't safe. They weren't far enough away whenever the asteroid hit. So the farthest out you'd see from the base is this little crater right here that I made in the mountain, and you can see the infection slowly making its way back to that main area. But this area over here is where the asteroid hit. This is where the infection came from, and it's really a catalyst from the aliens that sent this over. So you can see the bookcase came out, and that's the meteor right there. It's since time is stasis, since everything's in stasis, this all has stayed burning since the arrival, and the bookcase just slowly is making its way over to the base. Back over near the town center at the fountain, we go up this way, and we come to where this village would honor its dead. Even though they had a marketplace right next to their crypt, it didn't stop them from loving and honoring the people before them who made the land that they're cultivating, made the land that they're standing on. Without these people, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't have any of what they have now. So they love to honor their dead, and they really miss them whenever they would go and pass on. And there is another Book of Dash right here in this prayer area. But they really honored their dead, really loved them, really kept the crypt good and clean, and made sure that they came here to honor them quite frequently. They would pay their respects, pray for them, hope that they made the safe passage, and just be in a general good standing with Dash, that they would get to experience the speed or the quickness, the afterlife that she had to offer. Next, coming up back from the fountain, we can make our way to where the rich folks lived. Every society has them. They have the higher-ups, the rich people, the people who pay for their things and provide most of the stuff. So coming through this mountain here, and the church is just up there, you can come to the mansion. This is where they all lived collectively. They all agreed to take up as little space as possible and keep themselves safe from the outside harm by living in this mansion. And something they would do frequently is get bored. What would you do if you're rich? You would get bored. So you would get bored, wouldn't you? I would believe I'd get bored if I was living in this big old house in this village all alone with just these people. There was nothing else to do other than work, and they didn't need to. They were rich, so they would come to their oasis, and they paid big dollars to have this made for them. It was just a little escape from everyday life where they could relax and take in scenery that they aren't normally used to, like this coral bed were the hanging starlights that they made. So the last thing to go over is this little passageway up into the other people's homes, up to the Church of Dash. This would be the path that they would walk most every day to go to worship or go to pray up at the actual temple. And once they finished that, they would just get to work and live out the day. And that's basically my entire base. It's not as fleshed out as I would have liked it to be. I would have liked to include more things, more buildings, more lore, everything. Like, where did the people go? Did anyone try to find them? Did they have any neighbors? I would have loved to extend that story, but sadly, Cosmic come to a close. Dash believed it was time to move on from the server because I came in a couple months late. I arrived late to the party, and she thought it was time to move on and go to better things. So that's what I'm doing as well. Not only can you find me on a new server, not only can you find me on Twitch, you can find me on the new server coming real soon. It's called Next Clash, and I'm on there with a bunch of great people, especially Dr. Ravenholm. He is my favorite member of the new server, and he is the biggest help that I could ask for. He's helped me with so much with that server, and please be sure to go check out his channel and subscribe, leave good comments on his videos, wish him good health, good luck. Even though he's not sick, people can always use those kind of wishes. So I want to thank you so much for sticking with me on this journey through Cosmic. If any of you have seen The Magicians, up to the season on the newest episode on Netflix, you'll see Quentin and his love for fillery. That's what I felt for Cosmic, and it stuck. It's still there, and I will miss it. I will miss the journey, but there's always the videos to remember it by. So, this is Nova. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking with me on my journey, and let's leave. So, the way we're leaving is through the Stargate. It was a minigame made by Raven, but it's also an actual portal if you put in the right coordinates, so let's leave. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I sure did. Let's see where we end up. Oh! Oh, Christ! Well, wherever we ended up, it's not friendly. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, smash a like. It's always appreciated. Thank you for sticking with me throughout Cosmic, and please stick with me throughout this new series that we're starting. The new episode will drop tomorrow. Be sure to check out everybody's link down in the description. The description has been updated, and the new members of the new server will be down there as well. Be sure to check out Dr. Ravenholm, who was so nice in providing us with the Cosmic server for as long as he did after it dropped. It's been almost 3 months, and I can still go in and work on it whenever I please until he's done. The world download won't be available, but as soon as it is, you'll know based off my Twitter linked down in the description. I want to thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope to see you in the next one real soon. It's been your boy Games for Days. I'm out. Peace.